All right. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to be on here. If I have to end it abruptly, I will just get rid of it and go ahead and make a pre-recorded video and put it out for Harmony Montgomery and Angel Kaylene Marie Oehling. But hopefully I can get through it. All right, so Harmony Montgomery is actually making changes to the system. So something good could be coming from and is coming from Harmony Montgomery, aside from all the bad things that are attached to her precious little name. Something good will be attached to it too. Besides the fact that, of course, she's a beautiful little girl that I'm sure there's all kinds of precious things about her that we could talk about, but this is actually something that's like changing the world, or at least in the United States. If we can get 36 states to be a part of it, and I think there's like 15 or 16 states now. So, I mean, they're making progress. And this article from WMUR says the case of Harmony Montgomery sparked change at the New Hampshire Division for Children, Youth, and Families, with a report released following the 5-year-old girl's death making recommendations for changes at the agency. But recently, New Hampshire has seen another devastating loss: the death of a 7-year-old boy who was also under the protection of DCYF. His death and others in the past several years have led to questions of whether the state is doing enough to protect its most vulnerable residents. Brielle Gage was 3 years old when she was beaten to death by her mother, Kaylene Marie, in August of 2014. Marin was sentenced to 45 years to life in prison, so it's giving some examples. Sadie Willett was 21 months old when she died in September 2015 from 2 blows to the head. Her mother, Caitlin Paquette, is serving 21 to 42 years in prison. Dennis Vaughn Jr., also known as Boo, was found dead on Christmas Eve 2019. The Attorney General's office ruled the 5-year-old was killed by blunt force trauma to his head and neck. No suspects have been named in his death. Brielle's father, Sadie's father, and Boo's mother later sued DCYF, all accusing the agency of failing to investigate claims of abuse ahead of their children's deaths. The case brought by Boo's mother is ongoing, with DCYF saying its investigation was adequate. The other 2 cases have been settled. On New Year's Eve 2021, New Hampshire would come to know Harmony, a 5-year-old girl who seemingly disappeared while under the surveillance of DCYF after she moved to New Hampshire from Massachusetts to live with her father. In February 2021, the state released a one-of-a-kind report detailing her case. Hey guys. Hey, I'll be Frank, Millie, apple of his eye. Hello. All right. So because it was tied to this investigation, and at the time Harmony was still missing, they weren't quite sure what was happening, but there was hope from the Attorney General's office that releasing some information about what was known might help find her, said Joe Ribson, director of DCYF. That hope faded away 6 months later when the Attorney General's office declared Harmony a victim of homicide, with investigators believing she was killed in December 2019 in Manchester. Harmony's father, Adam Montgomery, now awaits trial on charges connected to her death. He has pleaded not guilty and his trial is scheduled for August. Report recommends changes. The review of Harmony's case also came with a list of 10 recommendations for system improvements. News 9 Investigates has learned that 2 are considered continuous practices of the agency, 3 are ongoing, and 5 recommendations are listed as complete, including new legislation to enhance the interstate compact on the placement of children. That really updates an old 1965 law that is not designed the way the world works today. Ribson said. It's a great thing New Hampshire passed and is on board. The challenge is 36 states have to pass it before it becomes effective, and right now we're at about 15 or 16 states that have passed it. So yeah, there's definitely things that need updated because there's a lot of laws that are from a long time ago, and that's not how the world works today. And there are things that need revised, a lot of things. And I think a lot of the problem is a lot of the workers that they have, or the lack thereof workers that they have, is causing a lot of the issue. And a lot of laws that we have in place, like, I'll just throw this example out there, and I'm sorry if you don't agree with me, but like the marijuana thing, there shouldn't be kids being taken because of marijuana. That's ridiculous when there's kids out there that are actually being abused. Things like that, I think that need revised because it's taking up too much resources that when it doesn't need to be put there. That's my opinion. This article goes on. It says there, excuse me, there are portions of the ICPC that are in effect now, the placement of the children that are in effect now. That previous law did not require an ICPC or home study if a child was moving to live with a parent in another state, even if that parent did not have a pre-existing relationship. So even if the parent did not have a pre-existing relationship with the child, there was not required a home study, but they're now wanting it to require a home study. So now the law has changed that we can do a home study in those instances. The court can order that. So those were really big changes in the New Hampshire law. That is a big change. And for Harmony to be doing big changes like that is amazing. It's good to see something good come out of Harmony's case because it's really dark. In January, the state also finalized a provisional placement agreement with the state of Massachusetts, which creates deadlines on information that is swapped between the two states if a child is crossing borders. So there's deadlines for information that they have to turn in, which that's probably a good thing because if there wasn't deadlines, people just wouldn't turn it in, right? If the states don't have these kinds of agreements in place, it doesn't always work out that simply, Ribson said. It can be something that could take 6 to 10 months, which, I mean, it sucks that things have to take so long, but unfortunately things take time. 6 to 10 months isn't really that long in the long run if you think about it. Hey, who said what? Nature lover, Beverly. In a written statement, and I might pronounce this wrong, Sununu touted the progress that has been made. One tragedy is too many, and while there's still much work to do, the recommendations we have implemented in the last year have helped set the stage for an even better, safer child protection system here in New Hampshire, Sununu said in the statement. So Harmony could literally be saving somebody's life. That it like gives me the chills when I really think about it. But since the report's release, there has been another tragedy, another child who died while under the watch of DCYF. Javion Riley, 7, died in January. His final autopsy report results are still pending. His father, Murtada Muhammad, was arrested before the boy died, days after he suffered burn injuries. So did he end up dying from his burn injuries, or I don't know. Muhammad has not been charged in Javion's death, but is facing charges of abuse. He has pleaded not guilty. So, I wonder what's going to happen with that. Javion Riley, I'll have to look into that. That was in January, so. Javion was also part of the DCYF system, according to his mother. I can't speak about specific cases whatsoever. The truth is, the work of child protection is constantly evolving and growing, Ribson said. We've had massive system changes which have been tremendous, and I think the foundation for a real world-class system is in place today, but we have huge workforce issues across the board that are preventing any of those things from hitting on full cylinder. So that's kind of what I was saying before. I think it's a workforce issue across the board, like he's saying here. That is a huge issue. And there's a lot of things that are bogging up the system that don't need to be, in my opinion. It's some laws that need to be changed. but he says more changes needed, some say. Some officials said more must be done. Really, frankly, I'm tired of having dead children around the city, said Manchester Police Chief Alan Aldenberg. I'm tired of it. Right. I mean, what else can you really say? You're just sick of having dead children. I mean, to put it frankly, yeah, he's sick of having dead children around his city and he wants to see a change. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that as time goes on, it's going to have to continue to change. And there's going to have to continue to be compassionate people in the world that are willing to take on the job. Yeah, because unfortunately, there's always going to be shitty parents out there. Aldenberg said his team collaborates with DCYF daily. One of those cases was Harmony's. He said that while his department has a positive relationship with DCYF, he also feels there are times when policies and procedures can slow progress. Yeah. I'm not saying people hide behind policies and laws, Aldenberg said. That's not why they exist, but sometimes they tend to get in their own way. Right. That's what I'm saying. The laws do tend to get in their own way sometimes. We're limited on what we can say, what we can share between us and DCYF and other agencies, said Aldenberg. Cassandra Sanchez was tapped as the state's child advocate shortly after Harmony's report was released. She worked with DCYF to implement some of its changes. As an important piece to highlight is that it's more than just the DCYF system, Sanchez said. I think it's difficult for people to grasp that because they look at the DCYF system that they are specifically set up to protect children. Yeah. Sanchez said making real changes also takes accountability from other agencies such as police, schools, and support services, which, yeah, I mean, they do need to have more accountability, but so does DCYF. Everybody needs to take more accountability, in my opinion. A lot of times we recognize that it's additional services being available in the community to reach the families before they rise to the level of crisis. She said, so where do we need to take a look at our system as a whole and impact change? But that also does include the DCYF system. I'm glad she said that because that's exactly what I was thinking. Hey, Lady R, I know. Remain Calm's in here. Hi, Remain Calm. Kiki's Eyes. Whoever I missed, I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'm going to move on. I hate to do this so abruptly to just go straight from Harmony to Kaylene, but I just don't know how much time I have. But I think that's amazing that Harmony's making changes. I actually teared up when I first heard it. I heard it on Burden of Proof on her page. She put out a really good live. I think it was from yesterday about, and she talks about other cases too. But she also talks about Harmony and how she's been making changes. And if you haven't watched it, I would go over there and check it out because that's a good video. All right, so I'm going to jump right into this. Kaylene Oehling. I think that's how you say her name, and I really apologize if I'm saying it wrong. This is from her Facebook page. Not her Facebook page, but the Missing Persons Kaylene Oehling 2020 Angel Kaylene Marie Oehling Missing Persons Facebook page. It has 2.3 thousand followers. That's cool. So I'll be frank, just shared this with me the other day, and I definitely wanted to talk about it because her dad is like really hurting, and he's really hurting for justice for his daughter. And he's like basically screaming out at the top of his lungs that he knows who did it. This guy, what's his name? Mano? Is it Michael Mano? Yeah, Michael Mano is the guy that he's saying killed her. And apparently he's basically admitted it, said he took care of her. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. He's got a pretty large lengthy background too, which it's hard to read in the video, so I'm not even going to try. But this post says right here, this man, Michael Mano, has murdered Kaylene Oehling the night of January 9th into January 10th of 2020. And no, this man, as far as I know, is not arrested for this. And he's not arrested for anything, but he's not arrested for this. Mano has stated several times he had done so. Mano's criminal record is extremely long. He should not be walking the streets. Mano has charges dating back to 1993, statutory rape, corruption of minors, theft, arson, recklessly endangering another person, aggravated assault, explicit photos to minors. We need justice for Kaylene Oehling and her family. They do not deserve to wonder every day if Mano will kill again. Mano is a killer. I believe he has done this before and has help that night. Courtney Frederick was also the last person to see her that night as well. How is it her house went up in a fire and her 2-year-old daughter passed away due to her injuries of the fire? Courtney was high on drugs and intoxicated that night of the fire. Danica, the 2-year-old, ran back into the house to get the family cat. Why would they even allow her to run back inside? The grandmother tried to save her, but also sustained multiple injuries and passed away shortly after. Courtney also refused to get her 1-month-old hospital treatment. She was too worried about CPS taking her child away. What is she hiding? Courtney knows more than she says she does. So I don't really see how that proves that Courtney knows more than she says she does, besides that it just kind of makes her look like a bad mom, like she wasn't really doing much to be a mother, maybe, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she had anything to do with this girl going missing. But I don't know. I'm sure the person that posted that probably knows a lot more about this Courtney person. But this woman that posted this is Amber Lynn. So she must be close to the family, I would assume. I know Frank was like looking into it. Do you know if there's anything, Frank, if you're still in here, do you know if there's anything on this case that's like not on the Facebook page that you know about that we could share? I was trying to find this video of her dad. There's a video of her dad on here. Let me make sure my sound is turned up.
This is a bone, city of Pittsburgh. Why is this not taped off? Why isn't it dug up to see if there is any other remains? So my oldest and I and a family friend is actually at the scene where skull was found. Here's a question for you. This was, hey, Pittsburgh police in the city of Pittsburgh, if this was properly investigated, why did we find another one of my daughter's bones? And why did you guys even leave stuff? This is a bone. This is a bone, city of Pittsburgh.
Can you believe this?
Why is this not taped off? Why isn't it dug up to see if there is any other remains? Why is this not dug up to see if there's a murder weapon? Anything.
Wow. Right? Yeah. What the fuck? What is going on? That like chills me to the bone. That is, wow. There's no words to how I feel for, hey Diane, for how I feel for her father. There's no words. I don't even know what to say. That is, I'm like shaking. Seriously, that's crazy. I really feel for this guy, man. I wish there was something somebody could do. I don't even know what you would do. besides talk about it and try and get the story out there and try and help him get justice. I don't know what else personally to do besides just to talk about it and share her story. But yeah, he posts on here all the time. There's also the Aware Foundation posted this. It says, on the night of January 9th, 2020, Kaylene Oehling left a friend's house in Millvale, Pennsylvania to meet her ex-boyfriend, Michael Mano. A few hours later, at around 1:30 a.m., on January 10th, 2020, Kaylene made contact with her mother from Etna, Pennsylvania, and this was the last time Kaylene was heard from. She was reported missing later that day when she did not show up to babysit as scheduled. At the time of her disappearance, Kaylene was last seen wearing a black hoodie and camouflage pants. She wears glasses and takes daily medication that she is in need of and may require medical attention. Kaylene has not been active on social media sites, which obviously this was before she was found. She was missing for a few years, which is out of character, and for her, and the last time her cell phone was used was the night she disappeared. It is not confirmed, but Kaylene may have been 2 to 3 months pregnant when she went missing, making her estimated date of delivery at the end of May or the first part of June. A $25,000 reward is being offered in this case, which obviously this is old, so that's no longer. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Kaylene Oehling, please call the Allegheny County Homicide Unit at 412-473-3000. Her case number, her NamUs number, and yeah, that was from the Aware Foundation. So, yeah, and then there's people saying they shared it out in Kansas and in Michigan. I'm sharing it out. I'm in Ohio. I don't know where you guys are all from, but if you could all find a way to share this out, I would appreciate it, and I'm sure her father would. I would just wish I knew a little bit more about it. I wish there was a little bit more that I knew about this guy and about Angel and about what could have happened that night, because I read that she was found. I don't know where the picture is. I saw it somewhere where it said she was found on 2 different days. So, and if I'm hearing that trigger warning here, that's pretty graphic, but I heard that she was chopped up. If that's true, maybe that's why they found her on 2 different days. Says Michael, where are you? Michael Mano, the guy that supposedly, allegedly killed her, according to a lot of people. That was just posted April 7th. I mean, he's posting on here. Her father's posting on here like nearly daily. Yeah, that video's, oh my gosh, with him finding that bone. I'm trying to see because I was pretty sure there was more videos on here. Suspect in the murder of Kaylene Oehling. The news in Commonwealth of Pennsylvania won't say it, so I will, as Angel Kaylene Ohling's father, Jason J. Oehling, for Wilmington Township, Lawrence County, Pennsylvania, Supervisor 2023. How many more people is Allegheny County allowing a murderer to murder while leaving a killer on the streets? Justice for Kaylene. Justice for Kaylene Oehling. Wow. I was trying to find, I thought there was another video on here. Maybe not. This is about they were going to have a search party. He said, everyone's been asking me, messaging me, or no, this was about the protest, about a protest. And I don't think they've had it yet because I haven't seen them post anything about it. But if they do have a protest, that'd be awesome if somebody would stream it over social media, because the way he's talking, we'll just listen. He says, everyone's been asking about a protest. He says, that Michael Mano, streets are never safer with a murderer walking free. Yes, there will most likely be a protest. I need to make sure everything is done right. I will get the proper permits from the city. So he's being responsible about it. That's really good to see. But the office of Allegheny County District Attorney needs protested. This asshole even pledges that he is there to make the streets safer. Hello, asshole. Zappola, you allowed and continue to allow a murderer to walk our streets. So he's talking about the Allegheny District, the county district attorney, Zappola. I can't remember what his first name is. Frank, I think. Um, He says, now there is a reason why I said most likely. A few things are happening this coming week that I personally am the only one who knows what's happening. So on these events that are happening this week does include moving forward with Kaylene's case in a way. Now, if what is happening falls through, I personally will make sure that there is one of the biggest protests that Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania has ever seen in their lives. So he wants it to be a huge protest. He just wants it to be done correctly. He says, now on that note, I am a big supporter for most Allegheny County Police Department and most law enforcement. So there will not be any trouble started in the city for Mayor Ed Gainey. We will do our thing, get the point across for my angel, Kaylene Oehling, and continue to do so until Kaylene gets the justice she deserves. So he's serious about having a protest, and he wants to sound like he wants to continue it until she gets her justice. He just wants to make sure it's done right and that people aren't assholes about it, which I totally understand, because that can just trash things real quick. Yeah, right, Lady R. Don't cross Lady R. Michael Mano. Seriously though. Yeah. I hope he gets on a lot of people's lists. I hope we can get his name out there a little bit and maybe help this dad out. I'm sure if anything, he would appreciate it. Hey, Kai Mojo. I just realized I never put a banner up. I should have put a banner up for Harmony and Kaylene. All right. So, oh my gosh, what did I just do? Diane says, I fear for all these kids at the hands of CPS and the courts. I hate to say it, but I kind of do too, because it seems like there's been too many failed, and the foster parents that get the kids a lot of times are the ones that they're failed by, not necessarily CPS like workers themselves. It's just that there isn't enough being done to look into things like, do they not have enough to pay people more? I mean, do they not have enough people working, enough hours that they can do enough investigation into families to make sure that they're good enough for these children? I mean, what is it exactly? I don't understand, but it just is sad that all these children are being failed by the system that they're supposed to be being saved by. It just sucks, because if only we could just get it through people's heads somehow, just don't hurt kids. You don't do that. Like, if we could just get rid of people that think like that, there wouldn't be a problem. But unfortunately, that's not how the world works. Our children are our future. If only everybody could realize that. Yeah, If the dad were to take care of this creep, he would be the one to have the book thrown at him. System is broken. Exactly. And unfortunately, we can't just, what do they call that when people do that? Like vigilante justice. But I mean, it happens every day. People take care of it on their own all the time and do get the book thrown at them. It, unfortunately, um, I don't even know how to think about that. You found him already? I didn't look into him that much yet. I've had like no free time the past few days. I want to look into this guy more, but I just wanted to get it out there. I'm like, I have time to record something, so I'm just going to do it and hope that I have time to get through it. And I know who said what is probably really good at like researching into people, like looking into people. And I know Lady R probably is really good at that too. I'm sure a lot of people are on here, like looking into people, like looking into their background and stuff. I need to get better at that. Yeah, poor Harmony and Orrin and Orson, right? And all the ones that don't make headlines. There's a lot that don't make headlines that are all around. I mean, just look in your own state and you can find so many issues just in your own state. And that's kind of where you have to start because, I mean, there's no way any one of us could possibly do anything all over the place. You just have to find one thing and focus on that and try to like find one case like Summer Wells and just focus on that. Like that's how I am, but I like to branch out a little bit sometimes. But I feel like it's hard to focus on too many things at once. You know what I mean? It's hard enough to focus on one case at a time, but to focus on two or three or a dozen of them, I don't know how people do it. It's so much. There's just not enough free time to look into all that. And I feel like that's how people at CPS feel. Like they just don't have enough time and enough eyes to and enough hands to be able to go out and do everything that they need to do because there's too many cases. And I feel like if the laws were revised a little bit, like the marijuana thing, like they shouldn't be going door to door over that when there's actually kids who are being abused. You know what I mean? And it sucks to have to say, well, you have to set one kid aside for today because there's another kid that has it worse, and then maybe tomorrow you'll get to that kid that didn't have it as bad, and then who knows, maybe the kid that didn't have it as bad has an even worse day than that other kid, and he's the one that loses his life. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, and I hate to blame CPS because they do have rules that they have to follow and they have to take the worst case first, and that's just what they have to do. But unfortunately, that isn't, you can't always define someone's abuse as whose is worse or whose isn't, and they just choose the wrong one, and that's just how it is, and it's sad. Hey, 1-800, where's Summer? 1-800 TBI find. You'll send me the background. That's awesome. Thank you. Um, this dude sent her provocative photos to a family member after she went missing. Wow. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty sick. I know I seen that he had charges for something like that. I think he was like sending nudes to a minor, if I'm not mistaken. Right? It is angering. It's angering because it seems like there's nothing being done about it, but like maybe there is, maybe, but how can they not have enough evidence if the dude's out here admitting to it? Like, what more evidence do you need? Unless somebody hacked his account, which could they prove that? I mean, couldn't they prove that if somebody hacked his account or not? Like, if he's saying that on his account and that's really him saying it, what the hell? Take him in. I don't get it. Like, if he's literally admitting to this stuff. Because, I mean, look, if I can find it, it's hard to see, but I know I saw a bigger picture of it. It's hard to read. Hold on, I'll show you. Right here. It's so hard to read, but it says, people talking crazy, was in jail for traffic shit, wouldn't snitch on my ex, so they booked me. My ex's family talking crazy. She avoided them because her dad molested her and her mom was tricking her out. Her family's real scumbags. That's from Michael Mano, and apparently that's from May 4th of 2020. So I don't know what the relevance exactly of that is, but he took the time to screenshot it, circle what the dude said, and post it here. So I want to figure out what that's about. He says, Michael Mano, um, I'm assuming this is still from May 4th. It says, I would tell the police who she was with and what they was doing. It's called minding your own fucking business and not being a snitch. She's 20 years old doing her. So that, I mean, as he's saying he wouldn't tell the police because he's not a snitch, and he's telling people to mind their own business because she's 20 years old and doing her own thing, because supposedly he was saying that she was safe and everything for the longest time, and that she was with him and safe when she really wasn't. She was dead the whole time. So if he's saying this girl was safe and with him the whole time, then when she was actually dead the whole time, isn't that enough to take him in along with all of this? Because he said, I took care of her. And this was back in 2021. So this would have been like a year later after she went missing. He said, I took care of her. Too bad you can't search my backyard. Fine, I killed her, but you have no proof. Like, what? How can you say stuff like this and not be detained? I don't understand. That's what the guy looks like. Oh, Steven Zappala. That's the guy's name. Allegheny County District Attorney Steven Zappala should be charged for allowing murderers to walk our streets. He is a fraud. So I don't have an opinion on Steven Zappala. I've never heard of the guy until this, but maybe he is a fraud. Maybe this guy does. Maybe this Steven Zappala, Allegheny County District Attorney, needs somebody to talk to him. Maybe somebody needs to email this guy. I don't know. Maybe we should look up that guy too. Because he's getting 6 to 12 months. For what? Right? Too many parents failing children for CPS to keep up with. Exactly. And that's the thing that sucks, that how do you change that? What do you do about that? Spread more resources for families? Get more families resources somehow? Wow. Yep, her nudes to her minor sister. That's what it is. I don't remember where it was on that Facebook post. Oh my goodness, Diane. Yeah, I heard about that. They think that law enforcement thinks they might have found Oakley Snow. Well, they didn't say like, oh, we think we found her or anything like that. It's just that I read a news article where it stated that there was child's remains found in the forest in Indiana near where her mom and boyfriend took her. So, I mean, if it is not Oakley Snow, that's still equally as terrible. But if that is Oakley that they found, I will be glad that they finally found her and that she can finally have a proper resting place. But I don't even know what to say about that. It's just sad because I mean, probably her own mother probably did that to her. Otherwise, why would she run off and hide it? Why, if, I mean, I'm saying if her boyfriend did it, the one that got charges for child abuse, and he went to jail and got extradited back to Colorado. If he did it, why wouldn't she just tell on him? Why would she run off and hide? That's why I think Oakley Snow's mom is the one that did something to her, because she ran off and hid, even though she got caught. Yeah, you think they can prove it? Oh, he is out already? Wow. So he is out. That's what I thought, because I thought from what I was reading that her dad was saying that he was still like walking the streets. So I'm like, he's not in jail then, right? If he's just out walking the streets, that means he's not in jail. And obviously he's not charged for it, but I didn't know if maybe he was in jail for something else since he had such a long record. But yeah, Lady R is saying he's already out. Yeah, I was thinking, are you talking about they can prove it that his computer wasn't hacked? Yeah. She wasn't 20, she was 17. He's lying. What? That's the first time I heard that. If that's true, wow. If she was really only 17, I was wondering if she was 17 or if she was really 21, because I saw one thing that said missing child. Hold on. Yeah, I saw one thing that said missing child, and then I saw another one that said missing woman. So I'm like, is she a child or is she a woman? But if she was 17, that would make sense. Yeah, the laws are too lenient. RSOs should never be released. They continue to hurt people. I agree with you. I mean, put them in some kind of institution if you're going to let them out of prison. Sorry, it's really loud background noise probably. 6 to 12 for the photo. Lady R says, wow, that's all he got for that? You think he should get a little longer than that? I think they should get until that kid turns 18 at least. Like if somebody does something like that, and there's, say the kid's only 12, they should get at least 6 years, because until that kid turns 18. Are you serious? All right, sorry. My husband thought he lost something. He thought he lost his phone, and he didn't. He thought he left it on top of the car that his friend was just driving like I did the other day. I was driving down the highway the other day, and I realized my phone was on top of my car, and it actually stayed. You were 17 when you had your first child? Oh, Diane. I was 19 when I had my first child. Wow. Yeah, so that was really all I had to share about that. I just wanted to get her name and information out there, and we'll have to, Lady R. We should look more into this, though. I definitely want to look more into this and see if anybody else can find anything. If anybody else finds anything interesting about this, just comment it. I mean, you can email me too, and I can try and do another live on it. But comment me if you find anything interesting out about this case, and we'll try and do another live, because I definitely want to keep trying to get this girl's name out there. I feel really bad for her dad, and she really does need justice. Flip flop.
Yeah, it's nice stuff.
This is really, if you Google it, if you Google Kaylene Oehling, you'll see some stuff on this guy too.
Yeah.
All right.
That's cute.
I'm gonna go because my husband's trying. He doesn't understand.
Okay, I'll let you go. Never mind. Never mind. I'm leaving you alone. I was just showing you, Lindsay.
Just all right. He doesn't understand. One of our friends just came over, and bless their heart, I don't need any more clothes, but she just gave me a bunch of clothes and stuff. So he was trying to show it all to me. I'm like, I'll look at it in a little bit. It's fine. He doesn't get it. It's fine. I try and tell him, like, this is important. I don't want background noise. So try not to give me background noise because this is something that's really important to me. But sometimes I think he just thinks I'm like messing around on my computer. He doesn't realize I'm recording something. Yeah, thank you for being here. Yeah, she definitely deserves justice. And I'm not trying to wish the summer away, but I can't wait till August so I can watch Adam Montgomery go down. I'm going to be so satisfied to see that because his trial starts in August, right? Or no, is that just when his next? I think it starts in August. Am I right on that? Either way, I can't wait to see him go down. I can only imagine what they're doing to Adam in prison, what they're going to do to him in prison. If you know or see something, call CPS, the law, whoever, before it comes to, I can't read the bottom of your comment, before it comes to death of any child. I agree with you. All right. I should probably get off of here because it's like 3:00 and I'm supposed to go wash somebody's floors today. So I need to go wake up my son and go do that. All right. I love you guys. Thank you for being here and listening about how Harmony Montgomery is changing the system and about Angel Kaylene Marie Oehling, and for just listening. And I'm sure her dad appreciates that because he's trying to get her name and face out there and get her justice. So if you can do anything to share Angel's story or her picture, that would be greatly appreciated. You can easily Google Kaylene Oehling and, take some screenshots or something and share a picture. Or you could share this out if you want. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate y'all. Have a nice day. Bye.